Hello, everyone. Welcome to Better Health Education Series, where we learn about physical health, mental health, and body-mind awareness. And today we have special guest from Paris, Kamal.
Hari Om.
Hariom. Well, it has been a few years since we actually meet in person, thanks to COVID. I would like to just briefly introduce to our viewers how we met. He and I went to the same school in India, and while I was a screaming handstand learner, Kama was already a very accomplished yoga instructor back in Paris. He was already teaching, and I was just at the beginning of my teaching career. And every time I do a headstand, I scream because I have so much fear. I have studied the headstand backward and forward on technically what to do, but I have so much fear in me, I couldn't do it, or I couldn't do it without screaming. So, and I remember at one time that at one of the classes, we all have to hold each posture for 5 minutes. And I'm like, there's no way I can hold the headstand for 5 minutes. And Karma being very kind, and he happened to be not feeling exceptionally good that day, so he decided to sit out in the class, and he actually offered his help. And he said something like, "Don't worry, Prema, you can scream all you want. I'll be here for you." And he held my feet without controlling me. You see, that's a bit difference. A lot of yoga teachers there try to help you by doing things for you, and that's not the way to teach. And Kama, he did not do that. He was there, he was supportive, he let me figure out how to keep my balance, but he's also there when I go off balance with his fingers, making sure my feet is still pointing to the ceiling. And that was quite a amazing learning, not only for me learning how to be comfortable in fear, but also learning what's like to be a calm and supportive yoga teacher. So that was quite a it was really sweet memory. So thank you.
You're welcome. I remember that moment. It was and it was prior to that moment that we had discussed that you would not leave the ashram without finishing the pose, because most often in yoga they say if you don't finish the pose, it'll haunt you forever. You know?
It's my favorite posture now. Is my favorite posture now. I actually chant the Jai Ganesha when I do the
Oh,
yeah.
excellent.
Yeah. It's my happy place. It's my I don't chant it out loud, I chant it in my head, but it's my happy place. Yes. So now, like, you not only are you a experienced yoga teacher, but you are serious yoga student. Like, you have gone to many prestigious, really deep in tradition yoga teachers and yoga schools all over in India, in the south, in the north. And from someone who not only just took a couple of classes, start teaching, you are really serious in what you learn so you can offer to your students. Tell us your take on yoga, learning yoga and teaching yoga.
Well, um, they say that yoga comes to you. You don't go to yoga. And most often yoga comes to you because you have some physical problem, some condition. In my case, I think it was overwork. It was stress. Uh,
Yeah.
so much so that one day at work, I collapsed. I literally collapsed with a severe spasm in my lower back. And I was taken to the doctor. And while I was on the way, I realized, like, I thought all my life is gone, because I used to be a dancer. I used to be a sports person. I was flexible, but never did yoga before. And I was wondering if this is paralysis because I could not feel my body lower down. And I was lucky to be in India because my doctor did not put me on severe painkillers. He just said, "Oh, it just spasm. You would be you just stay home for a few days, and then after that, just buy a DVD from Baba Ramdev and do yoga at home, just lower back stand conditioning. So he did not talk about pranayama and stuff because he was a doctor and he thought like yoga asanas, the
He's
physical
a
part of yoga
Western
will,
doctor and recommend you to do
yeah,
yoga.
yeah. I mean, Western, I mean, his education is Western, but he's an Indian, so he knew how the society works.
Yeah.
So he's like, so I bought the yoga DVD. I learned from Baba Ramdev. He was fantastic. He was very spiritual. The way he taught was superb. And so he was my first teacher, you know. And then my quest started. I started doing, I mean, I learned from him, but then I wanted to learn more. I wanted to experience being in an ashram. So I found Swami Govindananda's Shivananda Yoga Vidyapeetham. I was super. I was the first. I was from the first batch of Shivananda Yoga Vidyapeetham in
In
2010-11.
Amboli.
Amboli. Um, it was, Prema. It was that place changed my life. It was that morning ritual. I still follow. I still do the arti the same way. So it guided me. It guided me. This is the framework I will
Yes.
follow, and I asked after the course, Swamiji, what should I do? I still want to learn. I said, go and find more teachers. The whole world is your playground. Just find
Yes.
more schools, different school of yogas, learn everything, and then make your own path, make your own
Yes.
education curriculum, which I did.
Yes.
I went to learn from a younger master in the Himalayas. He's fantastic. He's one of the best in the world. 60 years of experience. I learned from him how to manage pain because to I wanted my education to help people. I have suffered, so I know how it feels. I can really understand pain because I have dealt with it for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and also because I had a bad yoga teacher who pushed me. So in the Bhunaman pose, he pushed my back without my knowledge, without my permission, which aggravated my lower back pain even more. You see, so it tore a muscle in my hip, in the deep tissues. So the Iyengar teacher, he taught me he said he told me that the only therapy I needed for my pain was Tadasana. I was
Really?
shocked. Yeah, I
Wow.
was shocked. And then the way he did the Tadasana, and he showed me how to keep my feet and how to press the toes down, with total
It is
awareness
a
and
powerful
visualization.
posture to do it
Yeah.
properly.
So press your feet, pull your hands up, pull and push. That's it. This is your therapy. I was shocked, but when I did it for a week, I saw the result and I was amazed. You know,
I teach my students who are lopsided to do this, and they're like, "Are you sure this is too simple?" I'm like, "Try close your eyes and stay upright." And they're like, "Oh, okay, okay, got it."
so with the Himalayan teacher, I learned that. Then I was lucky. I was very lucky to find a personal yoga teacher, private teacher, because when Paris offered me a job, I had 3 or 4 months to finish some things I was doing, my personal practice. Then I found this lovely teacher. He's very young, but he's been learning since the age of 6. So I learned with him the tradition of
Lucky
Gurukul Kagri.
people.
See, with the honest intention, the universe sends you what you need,
Yes,
So
yeah.
I learned the tradition of Gurukul Kagri, how they do preparation for 40 minutes and then do one pose in the end or two poses of the supported muscle group. Then I went to Kevalia Dham. Kevalia Dham was fantastic. It is the MIT of yoga. I think everyone should align. All anybody who is teaching yoga should go to Kevalia Dham because that is the place to understand the deep meaning of what yoga is. Um, Swami Kubalyananda, who was the founder of Kevalia Dham, he is actually the father of yoga therapy. Not too many people know because he out
Okay.
of out of the research that came out of this institute, they found that yoga poses have therapeutic benefits.
Yep.
And if so, why not create a new school of yoga therapy? So it was the effort from Swami Kuvalananda and all the people at Kevaladham that the deeper education of therapeutic yoga came about.
Very
Then
good.
Rishikesh, I learned from the Rishikesh tradition. Then again went back to Swamiji for advanced TTC, to have deeper knowledge. Yeah, so my education has been now it's full stop. Oh, I failed to mention. I'm currently doing my last. This is the end. This is the finale of my education. So an institute called Yoga Point in Nasik, which is also one of the best because, and coincidentally, it is from the same Shivananda system that we belong to. The Swami, our Swami, our Guru Vishwas Mandalik, he is the disciple of Swami Niranjanananda, who is now the current dean of the Bihar School of Yoga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I loved Swami Dayanjanananda. I listened to his satsangs. He's amazing. The way he
He's Yoga
explained
Nidras.
deep, deep yoga technique and philosophy in very simple to easy understand terms. It's very, very good. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so Yoga Point um, is fantastic. The education is very traditional. They are very pure people. So I'm learning. I'm doing an online course to understand from Yoga Point because they have a very good yoga therapy course. But this is the end. After this, I will only be spending money on visiting different parts of the world, not yoga ashrams in India.
Well, I mean, like, is never ending learning yoga. But I think for me, what Swamiji always says, the best way to learn is to teach. When you
Yeah.
teach, that's when you know how much you don't know. They motivate you to really look deeper and really you teach from your experience, right? So yeah, I do believe that we need to learn external knowledge, but we also need to learn from our own experience in practice. Speaking of personal practice, you have been living in Paris for a number of years now. Paris is quite different than India. You know, like you don't have the Ganga, the powerful Ganga power energy. You don't have the Swamis streaming out of the streets. Like, how do you maintain your own personal practice in a busy world? Like, you are a parent, you have really busy schedule. How do you maintain your own practice and your own balance in a busy world like in Paris?
And to be honest, it is easier to follow my personal practice in Paris. Um, there is no Ganga, but there is the Seine. The Seine is beautiful, serene river. It flows gently. There's so much nature around. I mean, I often do. I bike. I cycle
Nice,
in the forest. So I think, and I during that time I sing the Jai Ganesha. I walk.
nice,
I do silent meditations in the nature. It's very
nice,
beautiful. Yes, it is. I mean, as a Vata, the cold doesn't. I mean, I don't really align with the cold. I feel very dry. The food. I miss my tropical, you know, uh, country. The fruits are different. Um, so diet is yes, being a vegetarian in Paris is difficult,
yeah,
but I rarely eat outside. I consume what I make at home.
very good.
Um, to be honest, that is the only way because when you go to the restaurants nowadays, it's great because they have vegan restaurants. They are beautiful. They're very people are experimenting with food now a lot with vegetarianism and veganism. I think the young generation is understanding the impact of the climate impact of eating non-vegetarian, which is
Yes,
great. I'm very happy.
yes,
Um, in terms of students, I'm also happy because here the Indian tradition is the guru knows, and they come to you and they understand, they respect the guru and they do what the guru says. They ask questions, but like differently. But here they have a question because they don't come to yoga as a spiritual path. They come to yoga as they have lunch break, so they do yoga and then they go back and they
yeah,
do
yeah,
they have lunch. Or so in it is very rare that people do not have questions, you know. So it's great for me because, like you said, when you teach, you understand more. And how can you
Yes.
understand if students would ask,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, I also understand more about my own teaching because the Indian tradition is that the teacher speaks less and to the point. Uh, so I restrain from opening your heart, do this and do that. No, no, no. I stick to my tradition and people like it.
You know,
Presence.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that, like because so many people are saying, "Oh, Prema, you need to adapt. You need to adapt to what your students are ready for. You cannot be chanting, you cannot be too spiritual." But you'd be surprised when you just have a little bit of it at your own level, when you feel the students ready, they are so appreciative of something a little bit more grounded in tradition, a little bit more grounded of not religious, not superstition, but spirituality. I think because everyone had this craving for this inner peace. And I think, when you and I and other teachers have been lucky enough to be exposed to the traditions and just share a little bit of what we practice in the ashrams, people are like, wow, that's so nice. I don't know what you do, but that's so nice. And I think that is what we
Exactly.
want to get people to feel that inner peace, isn't it?
And also, I'll say something about the French society. See, these people are, they are so deeply proud of their inheritance, their food, their language. They take pride in their accent. Tradition is important to them, and when they see authentic, they value it. So I really like when people, I love it when people value my tradition because for this society, tradition is important, you know, and you will find that societies like India is so old, and we have yoga is our tradition. It's like our language. And just like if I teach my language in a different language, it's impossible. How can I teach French in Thai? I can't. I have to teach French in French, or I have to teach yoga in yoga. So yoga is a certain grammar. There's a
A
system,
certain mentality, a certain way of looking at yourself and at the other person, isn't it?
exactly, and which is why I think people appreciate going back to the traditional path. And it is only if I change, if I adapt, then it will become something else. I am not something else therapist. I'm yoga therapist. You know, I am
I'm
not
glad. I'm so glad you have this mentality. It is so easy to be it's so easy to be tempted to just be, oh, let's be modern, let us be adapt. And I mean, I'm all about adapt, adjust, accommodate, but it had to be grounded in something authentic and something that had been proven effective, right? So yeah,
exactly.
I'm so glad. So tell us a little bit more about the naming of your website. I like it. I like how you put it together and the intention behind it. I think it's very aligned with what you just said about how you teach.
Hatayasa. I call my organization Hatayasa, because yasa in Sanskrit is used in different ways. And one, it's a suffix to the word prayasa. Prayasa means effort, you know. Um, and Hatha Yoga is a discipline. So your personal effort with the tradition of yoga, if you understand the tradition of yoga and if you make the personal effort, then definitely you can make spiritual and physical and mental progress. Hatha therefore is my offering to my clients, to my clients, that I'm deeply rooted in tradition, and with the help of their own personal effort, we can build something together. That is my
Good,
intention.
good.
And also, it is a play on the word vinyasa because the whole world thinks vinyasa is the only yoga. Of course, vinyasa is fantastic. Vinyasa yoga. I do also have a TTC certificate in vinyasa yoga. I can teach vinyasa yoga. But there's so many injuries people come with after vinyasa classes. Then there's a certain age, that after, if you cross that, if you join a vinyasa class at an early age, it's great. It's fantastic. People can go all the way, series one, two, three. But if they start late, just because everybody else is doing vinyasa, then it's dangerous. And
And
so,
it's not just I think it's also to do with everybody's physical alignment is different. Our body limitation is different, right? You could be a
yeah,
6 years old, but you have a different body structure. And most of us, like I'm 52, I I'm learning to be respectful of my body structure. I'm learning to be respectful of my weak lower back. I mean, that's how I started yoga because I didn't pass out at work, but I have serious spasm and serious injury. I need to stand at the office. That was before standing desk become popular. I have boxes for my laptop, for my monitor. That was how bad it was. So I will always have a weak lower back. But with the headstand, with everything else, I'm much stronger and happier than ever. So I think is as we get older, we need to be very respectful. And I
yeah,
think your approach of coupling hatha yoga and yoga therapy is really what's needed for people to heal themselves and to
exactly.
feel much better. Yeah, yeah.
And with awareness, like you said,
Yes.
people, if you hatha yoga is the safest yoga to follow. We all know, this is, and it's so strange that most yoga teachers don't even know how many levels of yoga asanas they can offer. There are 6 levels. Hatha yoga at least starts with level 3, slow pose, steady, and relaxation. This is what the minimum of Sukham Sthiram is by Patanjali Yoga. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
there is level 4, level 5. Level 4 would involve you to concentrate on the organ which is um, internal organ. Then level 5 with visualization, and then level 6 with ultimate the Kevalya. But how much can we offer is a directly proportional to how much we didn't know. That's why
How
I
much we know and
continued.
how much the student is ready.
Yeah,
If they
to
cannot
learn.
even touch their toes, we need to work on something else.
Exactly. So, and like I remember my first class with Swamiji. He said that a yoga teacher, when you walk in the class, you should see how the people are sitting to understand who needs what.
Yes,
Now, after
yes,
so many years, I understand just to see the level of the knees going up.
yes, exactly.
you know,
And the
uh,
curl the back
the
and
curve.
the neck.
So
Yes,
the chin. It's mind blowing how our guru has told us that you walk in the class and you will
little
know
things.
exactly. But
Yes.
he had the experience of teaching 40,000 people in the world, maybe more. So we are just like 10% of what he's done, which is where I want to be. I want
We will,
like
we will. So thank you for taking your time. I know that you're busy as your family is around waiting for you. So thank you for your time. And I will put your contact information below. And then people have questions about wanting to learn authentic yoga in Paris, they know who to contact.
thank
Okay,
you, Ayo.
thank you again. For anyone else who want to know more about healthy, better health for body, mind, and body mind awareness, there are also information down below. Take care. Bye bye.
Ayo. Bye bye.